I'm always right. I'm always right.
What's going on, everybody? Folks, I've been critical of the Democratic Party over cryptocurrency for a little while now. You know that I want to talk to you about what really is going on and what is behind the veil for everything that's been going on in this market. And of course, it all starts with Goldman Gary Gensler. Now, we don't know what the motives are. We can assume a lot of motives, but I have some ideas about what those real motives are. And I think that it's important that we really look at them and make a decision for ourselves what really is happening here. And we're going to lead off with a little bit of price action. We're going to take a look here at how the market has been trading right now. You can see right here, this represents the collapse of FTX right now. And you see we're hovering right around that line of support just below. That would be a signal that it is with high likelihood that we might be breaking down to test some new lows. Now, as we sit this week, this is FOMC week, which would indicate to everyone that there could be some big announcements. Those big announcements might end up affecting the overall status of crypto. And on Wednesday of this week, June the 14th, Patrick McHenry and Glenn Thompson, who co-sponsored a new cryptocurrency bill, are opening up on the floor for discussion in the, I think it's the fintech, and then in the agriculture, which is going to house, they're going to be ultimately responsible for cryptocurrency if these bills are any indication. So what is it that the SEC wants? Why is the SEC attacking people and using government by enforcement to try to get people to comply? Well, we can only guess at that right now, but I think that the primary reason for why this is happening is because banks. I think it's very simple. The banks that do not control cryptocurrency, the banks that are on the sidelines over here, who are gigantic donors now to the Democratic Party, which they were not 30 years ago, gigantic donors 30 years ago, but they are now. So they are controlling that party and really using the fact that, hey, we're the banks, we're the good guys in this story, we're the ones that hold the money, we're here to help you. And they're convincing people that it's in everybody's better interest to stop freedom, the freedom to transfer assets, because cryptocurrency, let's face it, in our current environment, it invites risk. So let's get a summary kind of what's happening, and let's talk about where it's going. First and foremost, this is where it starts. And this did us no favors, by the way. On June the 2nd, Patrick McHenry and Glenn Thompson issued that they were going to start a crypto bill. I believe that this forced the hand of the SEC to put out two lawsuits, which they didn't want to put out at that time, but they were forced because now somebody's coming for their power. So what they did is they filed a lawsuit against Binance. Now, in this 136-page complaint, there were way more than just, hey, they're not good for crypto. The complaint said that Binance had mixed billions of dollars in customer funds and secretly sent them to a separate company, Merit Peak Limited, which is controlled by Binance's founder, CZ Binance. Now, the complaint also said Binance had misled investors about the adequacy of its system to detect and control manipulative trading and about its efforts to restrict U.S. users from trading on its international platform. U.S.-based customers were supposed to have access only to an ostensibly separate company formed specifically to operate within the United States called Binance.us. Binance and Mr. Zhao enriched themselves by billions of US dollars while placing investors' assets at significant risk. Now, and by the way, there are pages upon pages upon pages of chat logs. And it should be noted that the CFTC has also filed a lawsuit with some of the same evidence in New York. I believe that was in the Northern District of New York, saying that they have been operating cavalier and rogue, and they brought the receipts showing that there is a willful violation of U.S. laws for the United States. And that moves on Tuesday, June the 6th, you got a filing here of Coinbase for securities law violations. Now, what are the allegations here? They're a little bit more simple. There's no commingling of funds. There's no, they were trying to work around the rules. There is simply that Coinbase is engaged in the trading of securities as an unregistered company. Now, Brian Armstrong has been on record many times saying that he's been trying to ask the SEC what they need to do to get in compliance. And it should be noted that Gary Gensler, his only response is, talk to your attorney. They're not helping. They're refusing to cooperate with the people that they want to oversee. So there's something going on in the background. Now, this right here becomes one of the most interesting things that you will ever see.
You recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to any one.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in the
I'm asking
middle,
about one.
The public is anticipating a profit based on the.
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals.
I'm asking you about the facts and the law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge, because I'm also.
But you have prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is anticipating.
All right, so let me just ask a second question then.
Guys, you're hearing it from him. He refuses to answer the question. Now, let me also preface this by saying that I do think that he is answering the question. And by the way, this goes on for another minute with him not answering the question of whether Ethereum is considered a security or not. But what he's doing, it would appear, is that he's trying to answer the question in a vague way, because what he's saying is that there's an intermediary group in between that will determine whether or not it is a security or a commodity. And I do think that in deference to Gary Gensler, I think what he's referring to is that what he's saying without saying it is that Ethereum, in and of its own volition, is probably a commodity. But when you add it into a staking platform like Coinbase is offering, when you add it into a staking platform like Binance would offer, when you create a staking platform that allows you to earn more of what you already have with an expectation of profit, then that to him becomes a security. So I think that that's what he's trying to say without saying that the underlying asset is a security, that the conditions by which the underlying asset operates creates whether or not it is a security or not. But that's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like he's trying to really avoid it. He's trying to condition it. Now, let's move on a little bit. Now, why is this happening? And the point to this all is that Goldman Gary, which he is commonly known as, has been for many, many years a proponent of cryptocurrency. He's also been the 11th chairman of the CFTC under Barack Obama from 2009 to 2014. He was the undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance and the assistant secretary of the Treasury or Finance Markets. Prior to his career in the federal government, Gensler worked at Goldman Sachs, where he was a partner and co-head of finance. Gensler also served as the CFO of the Hillary Clinton 2016 presidential campaign. President Joe Biden nominated Gensler to serve as 33rd chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. He succeeded SEC acting chair Allison Lee, and he was lauded at that time as a proponent to cryptocurrency, which was very odd because, as you can see right here, he has been no friend of cryptocurrency, but some videos have come out of him teaching classes on cryptocurrency in which he has been very pro cryptocurrency. Why he's taken this villainous sort of stance, I think I know why. And I think it comes back to where he worked before, and that was Goldman Sachs. FTX illustrated why banks need to take over cryptocurrency. Banks should embrace crypto as a way to mitigate risk and prevent losses that consumers at the hands of rogue crypto exchanges. And therein lies the problem. The crypto exchanges, even the good ones, are considered the villains in our story, because our story is about the noble and just and great and honest and would never do anything to harm you United States banking system. That's what we're looking at right now. The United States banks were ill-equipped to take over cryptocurrency. One of the things that you see in the United States is mergers and acquisitions. It would be nothing for me to see, with no surprise, I would not be surprised to see, in very short order, the removal of Brian Armstrong as the CEO of Coinbase by the board of directors of Coinbase, because it is a publicly traded company, and then the immediate installation of someone who is in favor of banks, and then an almost immediate merger of Coinbase to Bank of America or Wells Fargo or JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, because that's what's missing in this industry right now, and that is a bank gatekeeping for cryptocurrency. That's what's missing that's why the regulation is a fight right now. This is my opinion. This is not a fact, but the fact is there are proponents out here who are telling you right now that the banks should take over. There's also JP Morgan just made a surprise game-changing bet on crypto despite a 2 trillion Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto price crash. This article came out just a little while back, but it was kind of a breakdown. This JP Morgan completed, and this goes back a few months, but JP Morgan completed its first live cross-border transaction on a public blockchain using the Ethereum Layer 2 network Polygon, designed to help Ethereum scale a modified version of the Aave protocol, a DeFi technology that allows people to lend and borrow without the need for a trusted third party. JP Morgan Foreign Exchange Bank of tokenized cash deposits using the bank's blockchain division for wholesale payment. Onyx was facilitated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore as a part of a pilot program to explore potential DeFi applications in wholesale funding markets. So now, if you're not seeing it, let me clear the trees so you can see the forest. What is happening right now in the United States is the start of a takeover by the banks who are equipped with the ability to manage securities. There will be clarity in this market. Right now, you and I are looking at Republicans, and we're saying, these guys are the noble heroes, the libertarians. They're the people in the story who are going to save us, because what they are doing is they're creating laws, regulation, and legislation potentially that's going to help the market. When that does help the market, don't forget that Coinbase, as it exists, probably will not exist anymore. Binance.us, as it exists, will probably not exist anymore. MEXC, as it exists, will probably not exist anymore. And Crypto.com, as it exists, will probably not exist anymore. Some of them may move to Singapore. Some of them may move to other countries, Hong Kong. They may go anywhere in order to avoid the United States regulation. And there might be some problems in the United States. But at the end of this, what you will see are banks buying up these exchanges, taking them over, and then you'll be buying your cryptocurrency from the Bank of America, where people come first, or Wells Fargo, where creating new checking accounts, that's how we do it, dog. Or JP Morgan Chase, who absolutely hates cryptocurrency, but also is trading in cryptocurrency. If you can't see it by now, then you should get your eyes checked. This is not an attack on cryptocurrency. This is a delay on the distribution of cryptocurrency. Gary Gensler is not attacking crypto. Gary Gensler is attacking the people that sell you crypto. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified of future content. And remember, this is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you again very, very soon.
Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Loaded, got complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, in the proofs and the pudding. So, can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk? I ain't mean to call you that.